everybody in the group, it was like unanimous. Everybody wanted to do Alzheimer's. Like, that was the first thing that kind of popped up, and then we started to transition to, you know, brainstorming ideas. And one thing that kind of remained constant throughout was the different things that we had learned about with the Forget Me Not project, about how it's going to affect, you know, the football players, the young population. How do you translate that kind of information to the young population?
Like, marketed towards our population. And then once the university canceled the original event that we had that was marketed towards our population, when we were able to do it at the Urban League for the senior citizens, it still became convenient because they weren't as aware as we thought they would have been about Alzheimer's disease.
Right. We're able to touch more people by doing it in the community than more so just touching our population, because I'm sure that they took that information and brought it home with them, and it wasn't just, you know, we're talking to our classmates or, you know, people that we know. It became something that came out into the community, because remember, even the Lady Act, you know, when we see you somewhere else, so I'm sure that they were greatly impacted by that.
The senior population, it actually dawned on them that this can actually happen to them if they don't, you know, take care of themselves, and how it affects them if they have to take care of other individuals who may be diagnosed with a stage of Alzheimer's. I feel like it was effective because, like I said before when we first started this, that this was an underlying disease to me that's not really heavily talked about, and I feel like the awareness that we did at our project, I feel like it impacted them, and now they know what to look.
I didn't know that, like, with the NIH, they give $6 billion to the cancer, whereas giving the Alzheimer's Association less than $500 million of money to go towards the research and doing something that stuck with them was the stress, knowing that the stress of the caregivers was going to impact the care. How would you say care? Who are they taking care of? Like their
Loved
family or their loved ones. It is going to impact them. The stress that is on the caregiver will impact their loved ones more than it will impact them, and they making life decisions for people, even though they're being stressed over the situation and maybe not even making the best decisions for their loved ones in the stressful situation.
I learned that people with Alzheimer's and dementia remember horizontally mama, daddy, brother, sister, whereas we remember vertically mama, daddy, brother, sister, grandparents, great-grandparents.
I really liked Mr. Davis' presentation just because, like, he related it to us. Like, he made it seem like, well, what if Travis was your daddy? Like, what would you do if your daddy had Alzheimer's? Like, how would you feel and how would you be affected? Because it's something you really do have to think about. Because, I mean, that could happen, remember?
So I think this project was a success for two reasons. One, the students that took part in this were very engaged, and they just didn't want to do this for a project. They wanted to make a difference, and so that's why I was led to call the Urban League. That's why I was led to call Alvin Borders to say, you know, put a group of senior citizens together, because I think this group of young people from Winston Salem State University has something to offer. So I think collectively with GW Productions and Winston Salem State University and these students, we were able to engage seniors on a topic like Alzheimer's that nobody wants to talk about. We were able to engage them and tell them some information that they didn't know. And I think after it was all said and done, I think they went back home, and I think they felt better about having to know something they didn't know before. I think they felt better about being able to talk to their children about what's going to happen when I close my eyes. I think we were able to make a difference. And so if we can do this multiple times over, I think it becomes a situation where young people engage in the world of senior citizens to make a difference. So was this a success? Yes, it was.
My mother, she didn't have Alzheimer's, but I can relate with that situation also on how stressful it can be, especially when it's just one person trying to do everything. And it does become a big issue. And I think that a lot of emphasis need to go with caregivers, and a lot of training needs to be for people to understand what caregivers go through and what you can expect by being a caregiver.
The project a success was this was something that we were all intrigued on doing. It was something that all of us was like, yeah, let's do that. You know, I know people that's going through it, or you never know what could happen to me. So the fact that we all was so intrigued by it, I think that's what really made it